Hello, beautiful church. We just wanted to dedicate a special 5 minutes to our key workers because God, as you know, God prompted me recently regarding you all, and I have to be responsive to that. But it's kind of come together over the last few days, and there are verses that I want you to hear and know, because these will settle your heart. So the upshot or the origin of this was that I sent a WhatsApp, and I'm sure that we don't have a full list yet, but God asked me to write down your names in a prayer book, and I referred to it last week as being our Hope Church Book of Life, and there's a reason for that. And so what we have here is our Praying for Key Workers Hope Church Book of Life, and in here are the names of all those of you who have let us know that you're on the front line right now. And first of all, we just want to say a tremendous thank you. And to remind you that God has called you for such a time as this. So I'm just going to dig into a couple of scriptures because I believe they're going to do your heart good. The first one is Psalm 139 and verse 17. And in the New International Version, it tells us, "How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them." And then there's a little footnote which lets us know that another one of those translations says, "How precious concerning me are your thoughts, God." In the Passion Translation, it says this: "Every single moment you are thinking of me. How precious and wonderful to consider that you cherish me constantly in every thought. Oh God, your desires toward me are more than the grains of sand on every shore. When I awake each morning, you're still with me." Now, I believe that this little book of life is the result of the fact that you are on God's mind, and he wants you to know that, and he's asked us to do something practical to demonstrate that. So his thoughts are precious concerning you. Now, why was it significant to write everything down? Well, I had to Google some of these because I couldn't put my finger on exactly where they were, but basically you are inscribed on the palm of his hand, and there's no removing that. And it was so funny, as we were just colouring in these names together, me and the kids, one of them lifted up the name that they'd just coloured and went, "Oh Mum, we've got names tattooed on our table." And I said to them, what better place to have those names than on our table as a constant reminder that these guys are in our hearts, in our prayers, and they're on God's mind too. So Isaiah 49 and 16 says this: "Jerusalem," or you can add your name in there, "Hannah, I can never forget you. I have written your name on the palm of my hands." And in the Message it says this: "Can a mother forget the infant at her breast or walk away from the baby she bore? But even if mothers forget, I would never forget you. Look, I've written your names on the backs of my hands." So your name is inscribed on the palm of his hand. And Philippians 3 says, "I pray for you. You've laboured with me in the gospel, and your names are in the book of life." And then there was a little pause in the Holy Spirit, and then this week Hilda sent me this verse reminder, and it's from Numbers 31 and verse 49, and it said, "We, your servants," basically the Israelites have been out to battle, and they've counted their men out. They knew that there were 1,000 men per tribe going into battle, and when they finished, this is the report: "We, your servants, have accounted for all the men who went out to battle under our command. Not one of them is missing." So in our Hope Church Book of Life, and to the people to whom you extend, not one of them is missing. And I believe that this is super significant. So I'm just going to read for you the names of the people that we already have in this little work in progress. And if you are working with people and you want to add their names to your card, or if you're not in here yet and you're a key worker, then I want you to send us your name. So we are praying for Peter and Mutza and MM and Yudi, I haven't forgotten your extra name, and Sal and Bianca and Vish. We're praying for Lisa and Graham and Martha and Claire and Veronica and Cecilia and Janet and Edith and Emma and Hilda and Judith and Sid and Bridget and Chippo and Mina and Gertrude and Busey and Jennifer and Benny and Michael and Josephine. Your names are here. You are numbered, you are inscribed on the palm of his hand, and you are coming home in the name of Jesus. Amen. Mwah!